You're looking at 4 counts of murder. That's a death penalty crime in Ohio.
I didn't murder anybody, Sheriff.
You're telling me you didn't do it?
They died from terminal stupidity.
Why did you tie her up?
She's ungrateful. Kids today, they got no manners.
You wanted her for bait.
What's going on, guys? I Heart Smokes here. It's a beautiful day in Albion and a beautiful view. And today, as you can tell by everything you've seen so far, I am covering the one and only Hailey Scott, specifically Ice Maiden. And as by the title, your boy hit rank number 1, especially after maybe 200 or so runs. I finally got number 1. I was number 4, then I got bumped down, and then I literally spent the last 2 or 3 days testing different modules and different everything pretty much to kind of get it down and change things about my build and everything. Going into this, I will say Hailey is not the first option you would want to use for Ice Maiden. On a scale from 1 to 5 on inconsistency, I would say she's about a 2. With Hailey, you can definitely get sub 2-minute clears if you're really looking to speed run. You can get anything less than a minute. She's really fun using Ice Maiden. Ice Maiden is a little bit bugged right now. When I first recorded this, she wasn't bugged, but I guess something in the recent patch kind of bugged her out. So you will notice in the clip that at the very beginning, she bounces or falls through the map before she actually spawns in. It's very subtle. I missed it a few times. I actually reported it to the devs or to the Discord mod team, so they should be getting that fixed, hopefully, and maybe I'll be able to cut a few seconds off my clear time. But let's jump right into it. Starting on the right side with the reactor. I actually just switched this reactor 10 minutes ago, right before I got my number 1 run. So I will give you 2 options in that case, just because this is the reactor that I just used. But it's Colossus in tech, but the tech really doesn't matter because Hailey is in tech. But I was really going for it for the Dimension and Colossus boost, just so you can get that extra damage on her first skill. And then the other one that I was mainly using, it's not that one, but rather this one here, which would be the cooldown and skill cost on the singular. I just ran this one because having that skill cost and having 100% uptime on her third skill, her crit building skill, was just very beneficial. So you can use either of the 2. I would say cooldown and skill cost. If you can, try and get cooldown and skill cost on your Dimension Reactor or something like Colossus and skill cost. Still plan on testing a few of these out, but for now I may just stick with this one, just since I noticed a slight difference, I would say, just that extra skill attack. But again, you're really going to be just using the ATAMs to get all your damage out. And for the external components, I am using 2 Ascending Armory sets and 2 Shell Crusher pieces. Mainly for the skill cost for the Ascending Armory and then the fire rate from Shell Crusher. There are probably some better options out there, but this worked for me. Especially because one of the modules on your ATEMs will decrease your fire rate. So just getting a little bit back made it feel a little bit better. For the substat rolls and the cores, I just went for your generic max HP and MP recovery. For these 2 here, I would say these ones really don't matter as far as the substats, but for the cores, you definitely want HP and chill resistance because Ice Maiden will slap you around like the little bitch you are. Not my words, hers. I had way too many runs where she would be doing a certain attack and I'd lose so much health, and then I actually recently switched my cores to chill resistant, and I noticed again a big difference in my survivability, so that really helped. Jumping up to the arcade tuning, again you're going to be using the ATAMs for this, so you're really going to be building into firearm damage, multi-hit damage, and crit and weak point and everything. So this is the tree you want to go for. And then up here for your mutant cell, you want defense neutralization because it does reduce her defense and her fire resistance. It also reduces the other resistances, which you're not really going to need those since she's chill. And you just really want to make sure you go this way to get up here and not this way because you want that extra Colossus firearm attack. Now jumping over to the weapons, honestly, you could delete these 2. They do not matter at all. I just have them there just to have them there, really. When I was first testing it out and I was in 4th place or whatever, I was working on things. But really, the power is just into the ATEMs. And I will say shout out to Juwan K. I used some of his ATEMs build and kind of, did my own thing and mixed it up and everything. But this is the final ATEMs build for Ice Maiden. It works really well. It pumps out a lot of damage, including the fire damage. You'll notice when I inflict fire damage on her, it'll still tick for an extra 2, 3, 4 million on that. And right here is just another generic ATEMs build, focusing on that attribute. You have your weak point, you have your multi-hit, which is a subtle change just for an extra layer of damage there, and then your firearm attack, and then your crit. This one does reduce crit by 20%. You can change this out for something like integration. I believe integration can fit here. Something like bullet integration, and then fully upgrade that. But I'll probably go back and test that. But again, this is what worked best for me. Again, shout out to Juwan. When I was first testing this build, 4 or 5 weeks back, I copied his and then made my own changes. For the weapon cores, you're gonna want to go with fire attack, firearm critical hit damage, and then I run double sprint speed because again, if you're gonna have your 3rd skill up at all times, Hailey runs super slow. You don't need that Legion of Immortality roll. I just have it there just in case I use the attempts in a mobbing or a dungeon or anything, which I rarely use. For the unique weapon rolls, I have Colossus, firearm, ATK, weak point, and crit damage. All of these are very, very important. I did say in the past recordings that won't be published that fire ATK could swap out one of these here, but honestly, I would just try and go for these. If you can, or if you can't get one of these rolls, I would just leave out maybe the weak point. But again, probably not. I would just go for the perfect weak point roll at the 12% or whatever it is. This is the lineup you really want, especially that firearm attack against Colossus. I noticed a huge difference from when I had it versus when I didn't. So again, these are the cores and substats, and then lastly, the Hailey build. So I have no red module here. I have shot focus for some more firearm attack, because again, it's all focused in the ATAMs. I have HP amp and increased HP for more HP and survivability. I have both skill cost modules. Again, you want pretty much 100% uptime on her third, so your meter isn't getting drained. I have hyper focus, which gives you even more firearm critical hit damage when you land a skill critical hit. So you'll see me spamming my first ability, this the cryo round. You'll see me just constantly clicking it because I want hyper focus to also have a 100% uptime. I do have energy collection, just because when I first was running this, I was having MP issues. I may swap this out for something else in the future, but for now, that's just what I'm going to run. Then I have my 2 cooldown modules, again, just so I can spam that one as much as possible. And then I have antifreeze solution, just for a bit more survivability, because Hailey does move very, very slow. So if you happen to get caught by one of Ice Maiden's attacks, that is what you will want to have for more survivability. And then lastly, for the inversion reinforcement, I am pretty much running the same thing as my Serena chart, but I have fire focus rounds for more fire ATK, and then I have strike point amplification for more weak point damage when landing a multi-hit, and then I have antibody explosion just to give yourself more resistance in the boss fight, just so you can have more survivability. There are other options you can use, like the recovery lines here or the other survival lines, but this again is just what worked best for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys want to see more build videos, I do plan on coming out with a Hailey mobbing video, just because I've been pumping a lot of catalysts into her. She's definitely my favorite. Probably have about 30 catalysts into her right now. I am going for the full 60. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.